I was exhausted. My body struggled to sit up just to pull the blanket over my feet, even as my spine creaked in protest. I loved winter, even though it brought pain, both physical and emotional. In Los Angeles, it's hard to find a real winter. I had been buried in bed for a week, letting the world collapse beneath me. Outside, 152 Vietnamese tourists had vanished in Taiwan. A tour group was bombed in Egypt. A tropical depression was rolling in. My mother was ranting about something again, and even the cat was meowing for attention. You texted to ask what I thought about all that, and all I could do was stare at the message, then dive back into sleep. What could I say when my mind was blank? Truly, utterly blank. Sometimes I wanted to become a vegetable. Just lie there and breathe in what little air remained in this shabby, decaying house we called home. I was tired of catching rainwater dripping through the leaky roof. Tired of huddling like frogs on lotus leaves, waiting for peace to come in sleep. I didn't know how to tear apart this life I was trapped in, to step into something better. I worked as hard as I could doing jobs I didn't care about. If I didn't work, I starved. But throwing myself into it, did it really help? I felt powerless, useless. I just wanted to lie there, digest myself, wear away, and die with every shallow breath. Then came the chime of a text message, and once again, you pulled me out of the thick, dark fog swallowing me whole. If I hadn't looked at my phone, I wouldn't have known whether the sun was up yet, because my room was surrounded by mold-stained walls. The recent flooding had knocked chunks of plaster off like broken eggshells. The water had left behind mildewed books and a lifeless, lightless, windowless room. I drifted like the living corpses in Nam Chow's famine stories, eyes blank as I watched the clock's hands crawl forward. Somehow, I was living the lives of characters like me, Ho, and Chi, carrying their pain like my own, moving like a ghost. You, Eli, the guy full of ambition and big dreams. At 5 in the morning, you were already downtown in Santa Barbara, running PR for a company project. You sent me photos of the early morning bustle. Silver fish glinting under nets, the sun rising over the sea, the round fishing boats bobbing in the surf. I missed you completely, 10 parts out of 10. I envied you, too, at least 8 of those parts, for the energy you had while I was drowning in shadows. Once again, you sent me a piece of life from the outside world. I got up, washed my face, threw on a thin jacket. I wanted to break free, to tear away from whatever had been clinging to me these past days. I headed to my usual coffee shop, found a seat by the window, and just watched life flow past. I was running away from myself, from my own home, trying to see who I really was. I ordered a cup of hot chamomile tea and slowly sank into daydreams by the romantic window, as soft love songs played in the background. LA was strange this year, rain in the winter. Watching the rain pound down on the leaves, I almost thought summer had come. Thousands of memories flooded my mind, overwhelming me. Outside the window, the vibrant green foliage of the golden trumpet tree stood proud. People called it the king of flowers for its rich yellow blooms. It looked so regal. Yet when we were kids, we shamelessly plucked the flowers, crushed them up, and made creepy meals for ants and bugs. What I remembered most about the golden trumpet tree were the butterflies, small white ones. I didn't know their name until years later, thanks to Google. They were cabbage-white butterflies, simple creatures with pale greenish-white wings, no patterns, no bright colors, just pure and fragile. On sunny days, they would swarm around those trees, creating scenes so poetic they haunted me still. Then a small voice behind me said softly, "Miss, do you have a tissue? Can I have one, please?" I turned to see a girl, maybe 8 years old, wearing a white dress and smiling sweetly. In her hand was an old Canon camera. "No, I don't," I replied, then turned back to watch the rain outside the window. In that brief moment, I noticed her bright smile, her teeth neat like rows of corn, her short hair fluffy like clouds drifting across a sunny sky. She walked closer to the window near where I sat. Raising the camera to eye level, she aimed it at the view outside and suddenly turned the lens on me. A flash went off, blinding me with its harsh light. "What are you doing?" I snapped. "Taking a picture of you," she giggled, unfazed. She walked over and showed me the image. "See? Don't you look pretty?" I looked at the screen. The cafe chairs looked dull and empty. My half-finished tea sat on the table. But where was I? I looked up at her. Still shaken, I caught the gentle smile she returned to me. Her eyes were as clear as the puddles collecting outside, reflecting the entire sky, the golden trumpet tree leaves swaying in the cold winter rain. Where was I? I screamed silently inside my own mind. She ran back to her seat, leaving me paralyzed in a strange blend of wonder and fear. Had my eyes been buried in dreams for so long that I could no longer see myself? Was this some kind of haunting? Had I ceased to exist? No. I told myself it couldn't be. The old Canon camera dangling around her neck gave her the air of a seasoned journalist, a young photographer on a mission. But wait, she couldn't be more than 8 years old. Who was she? I turned around, desperate for answers, but she was gone. At her empty seat, all I saw was a single cabbage-white butterfly, its delicate wings outstretched as it fluttered toward the window, escaping into the soft drizzle. Where was I in that photo? Where was I in this empty cafe, in this life? And who was she? Was she that pure-winged butterfly, now soaring freely across the endless sky? The gentle music playing in the cafe suddenly shifted, replaced by the somber, echoing sound of a hymn, heavy, haunting, as if mourning something long lost.